Alright, so what's going on, guys? So in this video we're going to be talking about cold talker combos, theory behind them, and things you need to look out for, choke points of the deck, and what you probably need to insulate when you're comboing off. Let's jump right into it. So here we have the basic combo. It's a 2-card combo based on Signet Codec and Lady Debug. So first off, we're going to activate our Signet Codec, that's going to apply, and we're going to normal summon our Lady Debug. Our Lady Debug is going to search us a copy of Microcoder, and from here we are going to perform link summons. So let's go into our starter, which is Cold Talker. Cold Talker links from the hand, and we go Chainlink 1, Codec, and Chainlink 2, Microcoder. Now, an important thing to realize here is that this is just a 2-card combo, and you need to think about the way that you organize your chain links. So over here, I have, in this theoretical sense, I have no cards in my hand. But let's say I had some random extender in my hand. It's more important for me to get off the microcoder than it is for me to get off the Signet Codec in this instance. Because I can always get to a Nightmare Corruptor Iblee by milling it with Code Generator. As a result, if I was thinking about this more beneficially, I would have gone Chainlink 1 Coder, Chainlink 2 Codec. That way I could have searched a counter trap at the very least. But in this instance, we're going to show just a basic combo. So off the coder, I will search the Signet Optimization because I have no other cards in hand in this vacuum instance. And then the Signet Codec is going to search as a Dark Cypress, which is going to be, of course, our Nightmare Corruptor Iblee. So we've already committed to our normal summon, but fortunately we have this nifty card called Signet Optimization, which allows us to, once activating its effect again, we get to immediately normal summon a monster, and that being our Nightmare Corruptor Iblee. From here, we are going to then go for our Trans Cold Talker. Again, here we're going to be doing multiple chain links. Over here at this point, it's because you have Iblee into rotation, it's more important that you get the Iblee off. So we're going to go Chainlink 1 Iblee and Chainlink 2 Codec. But again, you need to organize your chain links and think about them in ways depending on what your hand actually consists of. If you actually already have the Code Generator in hand, it's more important that you get the Iblee off. If you already have the Gachiri Administrator in hand, it's more important that you get the Iblee off. If you don't have the extender, you need to get the Code Generator off. So you would go Chainlink 1 Codec, Chainlink 2 Iblee. So you're going to add the Code Generator, and Iblee's effect will allow us to special summon to that field. Now your opponent's locked. They cannot use Imperm, they cannot use Nibiru, and they cannot use Cypher Gamma. And this actually is underneath Nibiru as well. Because we normal summon Lady Debug. This does not count as a summon. So we go summon 2 into Cold Talker, and then summon 3 with Iblee, summon 4 Trans Cold Talker, summon 5 Iblee onto the opponent's field. But because it resolved this summon on the opponent's field, they're locked out of Nibiru. Alright, so now we're going to use Trans Cold Talker's effect, and we're going to reburn the Cold Talker. This is a massive, massive choke point in this deck. If you have enough extenders, you can still play through this, but if they use Ghost Ogre, Effect Veiler, they cannot use Infinite Impermanence at this point, but they use Ghost Ogre, Effect Veiler, or even Ghost Bell in Haunted Mansion. If you're not able to reborn this Cold Talker, you need Monster Reborn or World Legacy Succession, and that's actually why I prefer to play Monster Reborn and World Legacy Succession as a result of this. But in this case, the opponent let it pass, so we're going to just have our 3 copies in the field, and we're going to go into our X Cold Talker. We'll use Code Generator's effect to summon from hand, and we'll go here. So we're going to go Chainlink 1 Codec, Chainlink 2 Code Generator to mill, and then X Cold Talker is just a simple way to just chain block. So that way they cannot Ash Blossom any of these 2 activations. So now we're going to mill a card. We're going to mill our Dotscaper for our free extension, and we're going to search a Wind monster, that being our Parallel Exceed. And now we'll reborn the Dotscaper on a new chain. Perfect. Now we'll go into our Cold Talker inverted. We're going to go Chainlink 1 Cold Talker inverted because you have the Exceed in hand, and then we're going to go Chainlink 2 Signet Codec. And because of the rulings, you will actually need to go Chainlink 3 Parallel Exceed. But if you were going into like an OCG format, for example, this you would need to go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, ask for a response. If no response, then Chainlink 3 Parallel Exceed. So summon the Parallel Exceed, we're going to search our 4-month skipper here. And then with the Cold Talker inverted, we're going to special summon that 4-month skipper back. On our new chain, we're going to resolve the effect of Parallel Exceed and summon another copy of Parallel Exceed. It doesn't matter the position, just anywhere. From here, before we actually make our Dikotoka Hitsul, because it has terrible arrows, we're gonna make our Splash Mage. So we're gonna use these two monsters and just activate the effect of Format Skipper. Now this Format Skipper is gonna give us our Gachiriatic Nister. And we're gonna use Splash Mage into just reborn anything. Let's just reborn the Dotscaper for now, but you could also reborn the Microcoder in this example. Effects are negated, that does not matter. Now, this card, you need to reborn a level 2 or lower. In this case, if you actually milled the Iblee, and we'll talk about that later, you would actually reborn the Iblee here. And because the effects are negated, you are not locked out of Link Summoning, so you can actually summon your Gachiriatic Nister here. But you need to summon something that isn't a light monster, so I don't recommend bringing back in that Format Skipper, because just in case, you may need to use this monster and then this monster to go into your Dikotoka Hitsul. But because this is light, if this card is also light, you cannot use it, because Dikotoka Hitsul requires, oh, it's right there, 2 Cyberse monsters with different attributes. So we have so we're gonna use a light and a wind actually to go into Dikotoka Hitsul now. So we're gonna go Chainlink 1 of the Kodak targeting the Dikotoka Hitsul, and then you ask for a response. If not, then you draw your Dikotoka Hitsul, you chain it to this. So we drew a Lady Digabug, that's pretty good follow-up on the next turn, and we're gonna search the Salamangreat Gazelle here. From here, we are actually going to activate the effect of Gachiriatic Nister targeting our Splash Mage to negate its effects and just special summon. We've already used the Splash Mage, so it doesn't really matter. And from here, we are going to make our Firewall Dragon. Again, a lot of this stuff you can do in any order. You could have summoned the Gachiriatic Nister even before this, but I just negated Kotalk or Inverted's effects. It doesn't really matter, but this is just how I prefer to do it. So we're going to Gachiriatic Nister's effect, and we're going to target our Firewall Dragon to make it unaffected by card effects, and we're not going to chain Firewall Dragon. Do not ever do that. So Firewall Dragon is now unaffected by card effects. Now, how do we finish off this extra link? Very simple. You have 2 cards over here that we're going to make into Mech Knight Crusader Abramax, because these were summoned from the deck. This is going to activate the trigger effect of Firewall Dragon to special summon a Cyberse monster from our hand. Don't chain the Firewall Dragon to the Firewall Dragon. And summon out our Gazelle here. Our Gazelle effect is going to activate. This is going to mill a card. Don't chain the Firewall Dragon. And send our Salamangreat Roar. Now, we're going to finish it off. Very simply, going to go to Talkback Lancer. And from here, going to go into our Link Devotee. Devotee effect is going to activate. We're not going to chain Firewall Dragon. Tribute it and bring back our X-Kotaker. Now we're going to activate the trigger effect of Link Devotee and bring out 2 of our tokens. And the reason why I bring back the X-Kotaker instead of the Trans-Kotaker is because Mech Knight Crusader Abramax can already not be targeted. So the Trans-Kotaker doesn't really do anything. X-Kotaker prevents it from being destroyed by card effects, so that's pretty good. And also gives 500 attack anyway, so the Mech Knight Crusader Abramax is a very, very big boy. Right, anyway, so now we will go link off these tokens and fulfill the extra link. We'll link off 1 token, go into our Balinks. We'll activate the Balinks effect to get our Salamangreat Sanctuary. Add that bad boy to the hand. Let's activate the Sanctuary now, and we will simply link the Balinks for our Balinks. Link summon to our Sanctuary, yep. Link the Balinks for a Balinks, and we're going to trigger Roar in Graveyard. Roar is now going to set itself, and now we have our Counter Trap live. And lastly, just take our Link Grebo, summon that bad boy, and put him over here. And this is our end board. This is super strong and very tough to beat. We have the Counter Trap for anything that comes up. We have the Bounce. You use Firewall Dragon to bounce their normal summon so that they can't do anything crazy and attack over our Abramax and whatnot. Just do it on Attack Decoration, for example. They cannot out the Iblee unless they have Forbidden Droplet or something that sends monsters for cost, and so on and so forth. So that's the end board from Lady Digabug and Cynet Codec is the board that you can build from this. Not to mention you have 3 other cards in your hand, so if you added in trap cards or hand traps or etc., you have 3 other interruptions plus this in order to the opponent needs to play through, which is almost impossible. So that's one variation. I'm going to show you another variation that starts with normal summoning the Iblee. So over here we are starting with a 3-card combo that requires some form of access to Cynet Codec and Nightmare Corrupted Iblee as your normal summon. If you normal summon Nightmare Corrupted Iblee, you need to have a way to link summon from hand in order to get this combo out. So you have Microcoder or you have Cynet Mining to pitch and get Microcoder to your hand. If you have another extender, as long as you have another extender to go with these 2 cards. So we're going to begin by normal summoning our Iblee. and linking with it from hand into our Code Talker. Now, in this instance, we do not have our codec, so we cannot continue playing unless we get access to the codec. So it's more important that we go chainlink 1 coder, and then we go chainlink 2 Iblee to insulate the Iblee. Now we'll grab our codec and we'll be just a-okay. We'll activate this guy, and then now we will activate subtraction, sorry. Target or coder, Code Talker, it doesn't really matter. And then now we can simply just go into our Code Talker. Effects, add the generator. And as you can see from this board, this is actually the same thing that we need. We just go through the same line again. So it's a 3-chord combo, then we go into and make the whole combo, just repeat the whole step. So rewind the video and check out that combo. Because this is the exact same thing, we just don't have the sign and optimization. But again, all we used that last combo was just to normal summon again. With this deck, we can still end up on that counter trap because it comes from the Gazelle, which comes later in the combo. So that's how you get through and start. If you don't have access to the codec, you can get a Iblee very early on by normal summoning it, but you are necessary to have any type of extender. If you had Link Slayer, you actually need to start off by special summoning the Link Slayer, then normal summon the Nightmare Corruptor Iblee, and then go from there. Anyway, so that's it for this combo. I'm now going to show you the choke point of the deck. So here we are with the choke point combo. This is if you do not open access to Nightmare Corruptor Iblee. If you do not have access to Nightmare Corruptor Iblee and you have some way to access codec and 2 extenders in your hand, which you almost always will, or you can search some of them off of the Cyanide codec, you can still get the Iblee lock, and I'll explain how. So first we're going to start by, in this case you need to start by special summoning the Link Slayer to control no monsters, and then we're going to normal summon our Lady Debug. Our Lady Debug is effect is going to activate, going to grab us our normal card, Micro Coder. From here, we do a little bit of link summoning. We're going to take our coder in hand and whatever card on the field, it doesn't matter, into a Code Talker, activate the coder, really hope our opponent doesn't have an effect, and go for the Cyanide codec. Cyanide codec activate, and we are now going to go into our Code Talker. Effect, and grab our Earth card, Co-Generator. Cool, now we're going to activate and reborn. We're going to reborn the Code Talker. And link summon into a copy of our, not our Access Code Talker. Oh lord, I love Edo Pro. Just simply go into X Code Talker. Here we're gonna do our chain links the exact same way. Chainlink 1 codec, chainlink 2 code generator, and chainlink 3 X Code Talker. So just block a zone. Now we're going to mill Nightmare Corruptor Iblee. And then we are going to add from deck to hand a copy of Parallel Exceed. Now, here's the interesting thing, the reason why I chose Link Infraflyer in this instance. Again, you saw we don't have Dotscaper at this point. As a result, we need another card on the field. Link Infraflyer is going to be that card. But the reason why I showed this card is because if you open up the Parallel Exceed, you can search the Link Infraflyer off of the codec when you summon the X Code Talker. That means that you can still have your full combo access, or you can even search the code exported, because from here you're going to actually go into Code Talker inverted. But again, this is just a way to just have another card, any sender. Link Infraflyer works, Cyber's Converter works, Backup Secretary works. In this point, Cross Debug actually still works because you have 2 cards, and that's why I chose to play it. Mathematic Addition, Subtraction, all this other stuff works. Anyway, so we'll just special summon this guy. Again, this is just any Cyber's body gets us to our Cyanide codec. I mean, Code Talker inverted, sorry. So link 2, go into codec, we're gonna go chainlink 1, because we have Exceed in hand, so we can organize the chain links in this way because we have a Cyber's monster in hand. And go Exceed chainlink 3. Summon out the Exceed, search the format skipper, and special summon that format skipper right to that zone. Trigger the Exceed on a new chain and summon out the other copy of the Exceed. We are simply now going to link into our Splash Mage and trigger the effect of Format Skipper here to grab our copy of Gachiri Attic Nister. And here is the one difference. Instead of reborning any level 1, we're actually just going to simply reborn our Nightmare Corruptor Iblee. And now we're going to special summon, targeting this guy, and just do that. Nightmare Corrupted Iblee's effects are negated. That's why we're able to special summon Gachiri Attic Nister at this point. Splash Mage negates its effects. We negate this to summon that guy out, and now we are off to the races. We're going to use this card later, so do not link this card off yet. Simply going to summon our Deco Talker Heat Soul. And then we'll just chain the Heat Soul as well. Got a card. Lady D-Bug, that's pretty good. And then we're going to search a Gazelle in this instance. From here, we are going to make our Firewall Dragon with our Gachiri and our Deco Talker Heat Soul. Use the Gachiri, target the Firewall Dragon, make it good. Make the Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avermax. And trigger the Firewall Dragon to summon the Gazelle. Summon the Gazelle, activate the Gazelle, mill the Salaman Great Roar. And from here, it's actually the same thing. So you can refer back to the previous combo, but instead of using, for example, Format Skipper or Dot Skipper or Mecha Coder, just use the Iblee, summon back the Talkback Lancer, trigger the effect of Nightmare Corruptor Iblee, because its effects are negated on field, not in grave. Boom, summon back the Nightmare Corruptor Iblee, and then you can go into B.o.P, and it's the same combos for before. So just revert the video, and you'll be just fine. And for this final combo, I'm going to showcase what I think is the, well, not what I think, what is the absolute strongest board that this deck and this variation can build. You take our Lady Debug, our Signet Codec, and then just any way of getting to Signet Conflict. Again, this is just the easiest and simplest way to explain the combo with Lady Debug and Signet Conflict. All you need to do and think about is the fact that Lady Debug and Signet Conflict are able to, are just bodies at this point. Lady Debug is a body. If you have Microcoder and some Extender, you are still in the exact same position because you just normally Extender, use Microcoder, and then go into Optimization, search Iblee, go and normal summon the Iblee, yada yada, right? Sometimes, if you have enough stuff, let's say you open up the Iblee and the Conflict and the Microcoder and Extender necessary, you can go into this as well. So I'm just going to show the end board as well and just show what's different. So here we're just finishing up the combo. We're gonna get our 2 tokens onto the field and simply just end off the extra link in the same exact way that we did before. Simply just activate the Balinks to get the Sanctuary. We're gonna activate the Sanctuary and link the Balinks for the Balinks. Get the Roar effect in Graveyard, set it anywhere, and get that Lingeribo out, and set a Signet Conflict, and this is the strongest board that can be made. Now, off of the Deco Talker Heat Soul, we drew a Lady Debug, but you could have potentially drawn the Gazelle itself. If you draw the Gazelle, search Subtraction or Addition, or even Spinny, just whatever, it doesn't matter. If you draw into the Conflict off of the Deco Talker Heat Soul, which is possible because of how much you're milling, then you do the same thing as it were. And that's pretty much it. This board has a Trap Negate, 2 Omni Negates, this one being a Banish, this one being a Destruction, a Bounce, 2 bounces actually for that matter, Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avermax that is not able to be destroyed by card effects, and you cannot hit over this card by battle because Avermax is damage step stuff, and the Iblee that cannot be removed unless they have exactly Forbidden Droplet. But here's the thing, if they activate Forbidden Droplet and then send Iblee for cost, and it doesn't matter what they target because you just negate it. If you negate it with the Conflict or the Roar, you will still have one or the other to keep on, preventing the opponent from playing. They still need to get through 2 bounces and a Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avermax powered up by the Exco Talker. It's incredibly strong and incredibly hard to beat. The opponent needs to open very, very strongly in order to beat this board. And that's actually going to do it for this combo. Again, you lose to some hand traps and you have to play through your hand traps, so you have to hope you have enough extenders. But hopefully in this video, I've shown you the basic combos and lines that you need to think about, the choke points of the deck, and what you can do based off of what you draw from Deco Talker Heat Soul, in addition to what you just open out and search with Cyanide Kodak depending on how you've built the deck. That's going to be it for this little mini series on Code Talkers, combo Code Talkers, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Catch y'all later.